Okay, welcome back to the channel, guys. I have been asked over and over and over, and I understand. My channel was built on Swordsoul, and I get that, and I know that. However, I have branched out, and I have gone into other decks, and I've enjoyed the game a lot since branching out into these other decks. I have a special place in my heart for both Voiceless and Snake Eye, even though they're two highest calibers rogue decks. I love Ryzel, which I explained to you guys that it turned out that Ryzel turned into what I wanted Stellar Knight to be all the way back from when I originally started playing, and Ryzel is the highest I ever got when I topped regionals with it. However, and also Blue Eyes is there because it reminds me of Voiceless. But anyways, Swordsoul. Swordsoul is probably single-handedly, I'll say it, it's the deck that made me want to create content, because I watched people do profiles on this deck and I watched people play this deck, and I was just like, man, you guys are just not getting it, and there's a lot of crappy information going out there, and like, people needed to, or I wanted people to just kind of see how Swordsoul was not meant to be played, but how Swordsoul could adapt to formats. And then the ban list came around last year and wiped out Swordsoul single-handedly. Took out Baron, and it took a lot of our Swordsoul players' edge away from wanting to play that deck anymore, because we had to suffice with Protoss. And sorry, but Protoss just ain't it. I know I saw a Ryzel Nemesis deck that went and did some pretty raunchy stuff in Providence, but like, could that Nemesis stuff do stuff with Swordsoul? I don't think so. And I don't even think that the new Swordsoul Tenny stuff that came out this year was any good. Certainly not the field spell, not any of that stuff. I liked a couple of things from it, but that's it. But yeah, let me show you guys my deck profile for what I would play if I were forced to play Swordsoul today at locals. Here it is. Simplistic 40 card deck. It's nothing really flash bangy that's gonna really pop out at you and stick out. And it's funny because the only new card I'm playing from all the new support I got is 2 of Sorara. I just don't buy into that synchro and this field spell, and I know you can do cool combo stuff, but in this day and age, people are able to play 15 to 21 non-engine. Like, you're just not going to combo. You need to be able to create half boards and suffice and live. And the way you do that is like, okay, they shut down this play and that play, and all I can get is a Protoss with a set imperm and maybe have, I don't know, like an Ash or a Nib in hand. Like, you have to be able to play with that, you know? So, starting out 2 Virtuous. I know I've always told you guys I would only ever play 3. Times have changed. The game has changed. The semi-limits on that recent ban list with Ryzel and Malice really opened up my eyes that, hey, even if they're not semi-limited, sometimes the best way to just go about it is just play 2. And I really decided to do that with that. Maxing out on our 3 and 3 on our starters right here, because yes, he is Longyuan is a starter if needed. I'm only doing 2 of her because I'm doing 2 of the most important tennies, and then just 1 of the Idhara, because Idhara just recycles, is my main trope for Idhara. 1 Protoss, 2 Taya. It's not really anything crazy. It's not really anything that's going to jump out at you and make you say, oh man, this is super innovative and la da da da, or that like one profile I did where I put in Shifter and Super Poly and all those things. I'd love to be able to come to you guys today and say I have new stuff that's going to break this deck. But even with like Dragon's Mind or the Gordian Slicer, things of that nature. This deck just doesn't use those new creative cards. Which makes me hopeful that maybe sometime this year or next year we will see something that comes out that we can say, hey, that'll fit really well in Swordsoul. Hopefully, one day. Non-engine, 3 Ash, 3 Fula, 1 Purlia, 3 Droll, 2 Nib. Yes, Nib does conflict with the tennies, but it is a necessary evil. This could alternately be Ghost Spell if you're in a heavy Fiendsmith environment, but at my locals I'm not. So, the Trinity and Imperm. Swordsoul, Swordsoul, Swordsoul X deck. It is very heavy Swordsoul oriented. 3 Monk, the Shaman. I have 2 O'Shit buttons, which is SP, and the Star Slayer. Other than that, it's all Swordsoul based stuff. And then a cookie cutter side deck. Nothing really to gawk at, so. Overall, how do I feel about the deck? It's as weak as ever. It doesn't feel strong. I've tried it multiple times off camera, I mean. Simple imperms. Just end turns and you just have no recovery. So it kind of sucks that in a sense. But it's a fun deck. If you want to take it to locals and you're feeling spicy one weekend, shoot. I encourage all of you to do it. I've done it a couple of times. I've had random weeks where I'm like, hey, I get to go to locals tomorrow and I have no idea. I haven't practiced Ryzel to the extent I want, so I'm just going to play Swordsoul. And like, I almost did a deck profile once because I did take Swordsoul at the beginning of this year, back in February, and I got 3rd place at a local with it. It was only 18 players, but I got 3rd place and I felt pretty good, but it's just nothing to really be excited about, so I don't want to fill people with false hopes. So anyway guys, that'll be it for me. Please like, comment, subscribe, be kind, be respectful. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yes, let's go. Come on. Level head, heavy metal, lead foot up on the pedal.